Gossip Talk Show. So my topic today is how to select the right person in your relationship and build a good foundation in your life or in your relationship. So why have I chosen this topic, how to build a good foundation in your relationship? So basically, the question you need to ask yourself is, how is your relationship foundation built? Is it built in vain? Are you and your spouse responsible in building the foundation in your relationship? Or is it built by family members? Or is it built by the world? When I say by the world, is it built based on social media? Is it built based on you getting up in the morning and opening your social media apps, and then you see your friends, they're on a holiday, they're doing this, they're doing this and that, and you don't know what is going on in their lives, and then you start building your relationship, your foundation based on what you see on social media? Or is it, some people are Christians, is your relationship built on a foundation based on God's foundation? So that's where we're gonna be looking at. So when your relationship is based on what you really want, or is it based on what God's purpose for you? So what happens is, you as a person, you will look at the habits that keep showing up in your relationship. You will look at, whenever you have problems, you will look at how you communicate in that relationship. You're not gonna look at how other people are leading their relationship. You're not gonna look at what you see on social media, because this is your relationship. You will look at how you give love to the other person if your relationship is based on you. So you will look at how you receive love in the other relation, from the other person. You will be aware of your weaknesses. You will be aware of your strength. So what we do is we make mistakes, because what we do when we enter a relationship, we look at our strength, what we are good at in that relationship, then we focus on what we are good at. When the problems shows up in that relationship, we actually end up struggling how to solve the problems in that relationship. Because what you do is, when you focus on the good, when you focus on building the things where you are comfortable with, so when the problem shows up, you're not gonna know how to deal with that situation. But when you look at your life and say, okay, I'm good at this in my relationship, I'm good at doing this, I'm good at doing this, let me grow this side where I feel that there are weaknesses in my life when it comes to my relationship. So then you will start building your relationship based on your want, and based on your strength, and based on your weaknesses as well, where you look at your weaknesses and then you actually start fixing the problems. You start fixing the problems, not being able to struggle. Because when you look at your weakness, your strength only, and you're not dealing with your weaknesses, that means when problem shows up, you're gonna struggle to actually fix those problems. You might end up blaming the other person because all you do is looking at your strength and not dealing with your weaknesses. Everyone has their weaknesses in life. We all have weaknesses in life, in the things that we do. Workplace, you look at your work, you are like, this is my weakness. So if you are able to actually to look at your weaknesses and then deal with them, then you'll be fine. So now we need to look at the foundation. The foundation is the beginning where you select your spouse. Before you enter a relationship with someone, it is very, very important to know what you want in that relationship. Then if you know what you want, then you're going to select someone. You're going to build a foundation based on what your spouse want and based on your want, not based on what other people want in that relationship. If you are a Christian, you are meeting somebody, it's good to seek God first in that relationship so you can pick your spouse, so you can pick the right man and the right woman in your life. You are not a Christian, you can seek within you. You know your want, you know your desires. If you actually ask yourself the questions, what do I really want in this relationship that I'm seeking? Who am I? You ask yourself, who am I? Get to know yourself, the things that you like, the things that you don't like, the things that you are willing to tolerate in a relationship, the things that you are willing to compromise. And your purpose, you need to know your purpose. What's your purpose in life? If you know your purpose in life, then you'll be able to select the right person that in your life, so you can qualify them. When you meet a woman, you have to qualify them. When you meet a man, you have to qualify them. Basically based on your purpose, based on your want, based on your desires, based on the future that you see in that movie. Everyone has a movie that they have created that they want, which is the reality, not the fantasy. Some people create a fantasy, but we are talking about the reality. So once you know your purpose, and then when you select someone, everything has to align with that purpose, with what you want in that relationship. If the person that you are meeting, what they want does not align with your purpose, then that is a red flag. So you can't say, okay, for now I'm gonna choose them, I'm gonna try, they're gonna change later based on what I want. No one can change based on what you want. So you have to, that would be red flags. If somebody, let's say you meet a man, you meet a woman, and that woman has not discovered their purpose, what they want in life, what they are going to be in life, that means you can't select them because they're trying to figure themselves out. They're trying to figure themselves out. So now we're going to qualify your future spouse. First, you need to know yourself. To qualify somebody, you need to know yourself. You're thinking about dating or you are in a relationship. Know yourself. Who you are. Who are you? Your identity. Your self-image. Why do you want to enter a relationship? Or what do you do? What you do? Creativity, based on your purpose, the energy, playfulness, connection. Then you can qualify your spouse based on their creativity, based on their life purpose, based on their energy. Does your energy, their energy align with you? If you are a playful person and you want to date somebody who is grumpy, your relationship is not going to work. If you are not connecting with that person when you are dating them, you're not going to connect them when you have selected them. So you ask yourself, now you have selected that person to be your future queen or your future king. So the question you need to ask yourself, why are you talking to this person? The reason why you ask yourself these questions, why am I talking to this person? That means you're going to find the good reasons why you are connecting with this person, why you are talking to this person, why you have selected them to be your spouse. When you write everything down while you selected them, the special things, the good things that make you laugh, playful, the connection, the energy, the purpose, if that's the reason why you are connecting with this person, then you can write it down so that in the future, when you are having problems, you can go back, remind yourself what brought them to your life, what brought this person to your life, the good things. Because when you enter a relationship with somebody, people intend to see the bad things instead of good things. So you can go back and remind yourself. If they are attractive, what do you see? If they are interesting, you can write it down, everything, because that is your future. You are writing your story. When you enter, you select somebody in that relationship. Let's find a name for somebody that you're selecting. Let's find their names. Let's say names, I'm going to give them Paul. You select Paul. When you select that person, Paul, is your king. You select Grace is your queen. Give them names. You are selecting a story. You are writing a story in your life. But sometimes it's the story that you've never asked for. Then once you ask yourself, why are you talking to this person, going on dates? Why have you selected this person? Why have you decided them to be in your life? So ask yourself, what do you want? Now the next question is, remember, you're qualifying your relationship. What do you want from this person? It could be your husband already. It could be your partner. It could be somebody you're beginning your date. What do you want from this person? This question, what do you want? You write everything down. It's going to remind you, because when the relationship begins, everything is good, everything is beautiful. So when you ask these questions, that relationship, when it begins, what do I want? I want this. This makes me laugh. This is my purpose. He's gonna be my husband. She's gonna be my wife, my future wife, my future king. What do you want? I want to have kids with this person. I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. You are asking whatever you want, your goals. You are writing your goals. You are writing your desires. Later on, when you have problems, when you stop being grateful for that person being in your life, you can go back, remind yourself what you want. What exactly do you want from this person? The beautiful things that you wrote when you first began your relationship, not the bad that you see when your spouse does not take the trash out. What are your deal breakers in a relationship? That is the third question. You're qualifying. Are you willing to compromise? You're qualifying your spouse. You're qualifying your marriage. If you don't like a cigarette, why are you hanging out with somebody who smokes? If you know your values, you know your beliefs, and your beliefs don't align with the person that you've selected, why are you with that person? Chemistry, you can actually be attracted. You can have chemistry with everybody if you go outside, but you have to be careful. That can be very, very dangerous thing, to actually select somebody because of chemistry. If you select somebody you've meant to spend the rest of your life with, just because of chemistry only, then you will have problems in the future, because you are selecting that person to spend the rest of your life with. And then if you select them based on the chemistry, that means you will have problems in the future. So you need to know your deal breakers. What are you willing to compromise? Are you actually willing to compromise your life to fit somebody in? I can compromise my interest. I like to have a similar interest, but I like my spouse to have their own interest so we can have something to talk about. Connection. You need to make sure you connect with that person. Now we come to selection, and that is number 4, selection. Why are you selecting this person? So when you ask yourself these questions, you write them down in your diary, because when you pick somebody, you are picking a story. You are writing a story about your life. This is your life. You are writing a story. Can you talk openly? Why have you selected them? Is it because you can talk openly about what you want, about your fears, about your desires? Can you express your joy? Can you talk about your plans and your purpose about your life with this person? Are they able to listen to you? Are they able to listen to your story? Are you choosing them? Are you selecting them based on desperation because you don't want to be alone? If you are selecting your queen, your king, based on you not wanting to be desperate, that means that is not a future queen, or that's not a future husband, future king. So you have to select somebody based on the story you are writing. Everyone, if you look at the writer, everyone who is written a book, you have to connect. You have to keep connecting with that book, the characters. So you have to keep connecting. So if your character with your spouse, it does not connect, it aligns with similar values, beliefs, different beliefs, there's no connection, aligns with your character, and then you want to get married, they want something else, you want to have kids, they want something else. So that does not align. So that is not a connection. So that means you have to look at your selection again and find out why have you selected this person. If it's out of desperation, then it's not gonna work. So then the last one is you have to understand them. To qualify somebody, you have to be able to understand them. They need to be able to understand you as a person. When I'm saying you have to be able to understand them, that means you enter their world. You get to know them. You get to know your spouse. You get to know their purpose. Why have they selected you as well? So that when you actually get to know somebody very, very well, it means whenever you are fighting with that person, you get to know them, you get to enter their world, you get to enter their spirit of love, you get to understand them. Why do they believe the things that they believe? Why do they love the things that they do? And enter their world and get to know them, get to know their past, and relate to them, sympathize with them. That means whenever you are fighting, you can actually go back instead of blaming them, because sometimes when a relationship is not working, people intend to blame that it is his fault, it is her fault. So you can go back. When you know somebody, you can go back and say, hang on a minute. Okay, people are growing. They don't stay the same. I've grown. I'm not the same person that I was 10 years ago. I have grown. I've not changed, but I've grown. So people don't change, but they grow. So if that person has grown, so you can look back and say if things are not going well, instead of blaming and say, hang on a minute, so this is what we are doing wrong. So you can go back and bring your spouse together, and you guys can actually look to the future together and be united. Because if you are disagreeing with somebody, that means you can say, hang on a minute, and then ask your spouse, why do you believe the things? This is what you believe. Why do you feel that our relationship can do this? Why can we do this? So, and then bring yourself closer together. So that's why it's important to study your spouse. When you go to uni or when you take a course, college, you study that course. You have to write exams. It's the same thing with the relationship. When you enter someone's relationship, you have to have skills to get to know that person. You need skills in your relationship. If you have a coach, that will be a big bonus, because anytime when you're stuck, then you can ask questions. But then if you decide, say, I'm going to teach myself, I'm going to get to know myself, what I want, and get to know my spouse, that means you'll be able to teach yourself. You'll be able to work on your relationship. You'll be able to learn everything about your spouse, learn everything about you. What do you want? So you will learn about your spouse, your queen, your king. Then you will every time, because when people have been together for a long time, that's when they start taking each other for granted. So when you go back to the things that you've written when you met your spouse, I met this person, I loved them because of this. I love them because of this, because of this, because of this. Have they changed? No, they have not changed, but they have grown. So then that's when you're going to start being grateful, appreciating that person in your life. Little things. And accepting them in your life. When you fight with grace. Is it okay to fight in relationship? Yes, it is okay. It is very, very important to know how to select your spouse, how to connect with that person. I can sit down here and tell you my story. This is how I connect. This is how I connect. But your personality, your energy is different than mine. So you have to figure out your story. When you pick someone, when you do something or you say, I'm going to get married, you are writing a chapter. You are writing a story. So you need to be a writer. If you say, I am a writer, so what are you writing? Is it a fiction? Is it a romantic? What is marriage about? What is marriage? So you have to have skills for that. When you are making vows, you have to have skills for those vows. You have to understand them. You have to understand you as a person. If you are single and you are looking for love, go to our website, www.hseia.com, and fill out an application form, and we'll get back to you. Women join the agency for free. We charge men because this agency is a matchmaking introduction agency for men. We are also here Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time at Ngosi Talk Shows. So if you are watching this video, you can follow us. And Monday to Friday, if you love the video, share the heart button and share some love with your friends. God bless you, everyone, and live with grace.